Well, Buckingham Palace has not yet responded to Prince Harry's bestseller Spare, but that could soon change with reports that King Charles is considering speaking to the media.
While the royal family has long had a never complain, never explain policy, Charles is said to be in talks with the BBC for his own tell-all interview. The King is looking to extend an olive branch to Harry and invite him to his coronation, despite other palace members not being supportive of that particular move.
Yeah, for more, we're joined by royal commentator Angela Mollard. Good to see you again, Ange. I mean, this interview would be huge. Of course it would. How likely is it to happen?
Look, how likely is it to happen? I think there's every likelihood that the palace, in the new way that they operate, could release some material themselves and interview, some vision themselves, that's then incorporated into some coronation-type package. Whether he sits down to do an interview with the BBC, as is being reported, sources are saying that he's being considered, that Jonathan Dimbleby, who did his original interview back when he wrote his biography, may do it. But look, I think it would be terribly unwise to do it. They have the upper hand at the moment because they've taken that never complain, never explain approach. There's a dignity around the royal family at the moment. That said, Charles knows that popularity is what drives the monarchy, it's what underpins it. He knows he has to connect with his subjects and he has to use modern mediums to do that. So if I were to put money on it, I'd say they will release an interview under his terms, because if he sits down with the BBC, there would be a full expectation he would have to speak about Harry and Meghan, and then that would detract from the coronation.
And can they get control of that at any point? Can they say, well, we need to see the final edit, or these are the questions you can and can't ask?
Not typically. If you think about the Prince Andrew interview, if you think about the Charles interview where he actually confessed to having a relationship with Camilla, if you think about Diana's Panorama interview, she didn't have, you know, there was no editing. She only saw it when it went to air. So I think that in terms of having control, no, it's media control.
My advice to King Charles.
Yes, Riley.
Okay. Do not go into whether you have the ability or inability to perspire.
Yes.
And also,
or your circumcision or not.
Yeah, or I'm referring to the Prince Andrew interview where he got himself in all sorts of trouble. Or whether you've been to some sort of Pizza Express place.
Yes.
Steer clear of those, you may be okay.
I can see a new job for you.
Yeah, Palace Media Control.
We'll get to that.
After Spare was released, there's a poll was taken here in Australia, which found that more Australians ever support the nation becoming a republic.
That's gone up from 36% to about 39-40% that we're in favour of having a republic. What's really interesting in this poll, though, is that most people, 60-something%, were not swayed by Spare, the book. That hasn't changed their viewpoint on whether we should have a republic. Obviously, what that republic might look like, how it might happen, we don't know yet. But certainly there is a slow growing of support for the republic.
Okay, yeah, whether you've read the book or not, you're consumed by the chaos of it all, right?
Oh,
so you're still looking at it going, what a mess.
It's the Kardashians with crowns, isn't it?
Oh, nice. Crowns with a K, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, it's less than 100 days till the King's coronation, of course. Talk about Prince Harry being there. Not all family members on board with this, even with the debate.
Look, Charles very much wants his son to be there. This is the most important moment of his life. In his mid-70s, he's about to become king. William is very against it. William feels that Harry's presence will detract from it. So the two heirs are in a bit of a battle over it. Apparently, Charles believes that he needs to be there, that he will offer Harry and Meghan a good seating position, that they will retain their titles for the time being, that sort of thing. But William feels very much that Harry and Meghan could go rogue. They could go and upstage the event by going and visiting, or doing a walkabout or that sort of thing. So there's deep concern from William. William's definitely got a lot more anger. William comes off, as you know, Larry, from listening to the book, a lot worse off than Charles does. Camilla likewise doesn't come off well in the book. So there's a fractious situation there, but I think Charles will win through.
They'll have to put the child locks on the Bentley, so Harry and Meghan just can't get out and go rogue, go and do a walkabout.
Right. What's really interesting is they are using the Archbishop of Canterbury to try and broker this deal. So, he married them and then he baptised little Archie. So they're trying to use him as a sort of intermediary between the palace and the Sussexes.
Like a counsellor. Now, over the weekend, Ghislaine Maxwell's brother has staged a bizarre photo. Now, this is to try and clear Prince Andrew's name.
Okay,
What's this?
let me try and explain this. In Virginia Giuffre's claims against Prince Andrew, she said that they had foreplay in a bath and then they went on to have sex in a bedroom. Now, what Ghislaine Maxwell's brother is trying to do is to show, using a staged photo of the bath in Ghislaine Maxwell's apartment, that it would be impossible for two people to fit in that bath. Now, supporters of Virginia, and so he's mocked up this photo, put their faces on it. It looks ridiculous. It's really unsavoury, isn't it? I mean, imagine being a member of the royal family and this kind of stuff going on. Prince Andrew has not commented on it, and the supporters of Joffrey have come out and said she never made the claim that intimate relations took place in that bath. She said that was only a precursor to what happened. So more to watch on that case. There's also obviously pressure that that Andrew should try and overturn that settlement from last year. So that story is still playing out.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, there's a new job going at Kensington Palace to help...
Oh, Kylie!
Well, I'll be the judge of that. What's the job?
The job is for William and Kate. They need a correspondence officer, so somebody who will write letters. So you have to have really good handwriting, and you have to be able to write bespoke responses to people.
No, Kylie wants more upfront, hands-on job.
There's also an event manager touring for events and tours.
Yeah.
Events and tours, that's another job. Also, there's a content creation job, and then there's an HR job.
Oh, look,
I'm sure there's a chef as well. Can you do that?
Do you know who does have beautiful handwriting? Who would be perfect at that job?
Meghan Markle! You're right.
She has a
Calligraphy.
beautiful written hand. She'd be
does.
perfect for that job.
That's right.
That's a good... You should call someone.
I think it's about $28 an hour as well.
She's, you know...
Good suggestion,
Yes, okay.
Kylie. I'm sure that'll
Thank
happen.
you. Thanks,
Ange.
Ange.